Yo, what's up guys? You got Pokeaim here. Today we have a Pokemon Sword and Shield Crown Tundra moveset guide on how to use CALYREX. If you guys are new to the channel and you like competitive Pokemon content or Wi-Fi battles or Showdown lives or whatever, anything Pokemon, feel free to subscribe. Apparently 50% of you guys are not subs, so help me out. Get to that 254,000 subscribers. Now CALYREX is a little bit disappointing, I'll be honest. Not the Shadow Rider or the Ice Rider variants, those ones are amazing, but this CALYREX, man, is just disappointing, man. It has Celebi's typing, right? Psychic Grass, but it doesn't have the moveset, which sucks. Like, where's the Aura Sphere? Where's the Dazzling Gleam? Where's the Earth Power? So you can actually do something with this typing. So it lacks a move pool when it comes to the offensive side, and even like it doesn't even have like U-turn or anything, and it has like long legs. So I feel like it could easily get in and get out like pretty quickly. But it might have a niche as a sub-seed Pokemon, so we'll talk a little bit about it. So its ability is Unnerve, which means that your opponent gets nervous, they can't use their berries, which is cool for like resist berries and whatnot. If somebody's running like a Payapa berry to resist Psychic or a Rindo berry to resist Grass. But other than that, doesn't really help out CALYREX so much. It's more like doubles for potentially with this mon. But we have the first set is a fast substitute Leech Seed set. And Substitute Leech Seed is really cool because it allows you to wear down Pokemon that you otherwise would not beat just based on typing or your stabs alone. So Substitute Leech Seed is cool because you can wear down Steel types, you can wear down Ghost types. Steel types is a big one in particular because, and as well as Dark types, but Steel types is a big one in particular because you don't have any super effective moves or even like neutral moves in this Pokemon's moveset to hit Steel types for damage. All of its moves are basically resisted by Steels. So it doesn't really have too much unless you like use something crazy like Metronome and pull a flamethrower. But yep, so it's interesting to say the least. Like Sub Leech Seed, it has a decent speed tier at base 80, so that's cool because a lot of Steel types that are obviously bulkier Steel types are usually slower, so you can sub and get that Leech Seed. Or if you're behind a sub and you hit a Leech Seed off on like a Dark type coming in that's maybe Liepard and it doesn't opt to go for the better U-turn to get on out of there, you can sub again and Leech Seed and just keep continuously wearing them down. I think that Psychic is the better stab as the third move. Gets good for fighting types, giving it some nice utility as well. Being a grass type that can hit poison types for super effective damage, I think is very important as well. And the last move is either Giga Drain or Encore. Giga Drain gives you that grass stab, giving you nice damage versus rock, ground types, and also recovery as well, super effective on water types. But Encore can be cool for stopping setup or for forcing setup, for instance, like forcing an opponent to go for setup. So if somebody tries to set up in front of CALYREX just because it's not going to be doing too much damage, you can just go right for Encore. Like this Pokemon's PU, so PU is like almost the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Pokemon, right? There's like ZU below that as well, but that's basically it when it comes to PU, right? So I know Kling Klang is down here if I'm not mistaken, and that mon could potentially set up, and it is faster. So if it tries to go for Shift Gear, you Encore into that. Then you can Leech Seed or switch out to something that can deal with that Pokemon. But yeah, either Giga Drain or Encore as your moves. And not to say that this mon is even good in PU. It probably isn't. I'll be using it soon. But if you guys are using this maybe in a metagame that allows Baton Pass, you can use dual screens. Really fast dual screener with base 100 HP is really nice. So you have Light Screen and Reflect with the Light Clay, allowing you to have the maximum turns of your dual screens. And then your next move is either Agility or Calm Mind. And this really depends on, like I said, if Baton Pass is allowed. Because basically, dual screens into Agility plus Baton Pass, you can actually, pass to an opposing Pokemon that could actually be a threat, that can set up, that can abuse this. Or even doing the same exact thing with Calm Mind. So Agility / Calm Mind and then Baton Pass as your last move. If you want... if Baton Pass is not allowed in your meta, you could always just go like Encore to force somebody to go for Defog or whatever, and then go like a Grass move or a Psychic move as your last one. Now, the next set we have is the Fast Support set. Just a nice offensive, not really offensive, but a supportive Psychic and Grass with the Giga Drain and Psychic coverage. Maybe your team is weak to water types or anything like that. Or maybe your team needs a Cleric, so a Roam Therapy is pretty cool because it allows you to get rid of the status on your entire team. Basically putting you in a position to support your teammates. So Aromatherapy gives you an option like that. I really wish this Pokemon had a U-turn. I think it'd be a lot better for this mon in general. if it ended up having the U-turn on itself, because it could actually, you know, go around and do something with it. But yeah, so Encore once again, either forcing something to recover, like maybe a bulky Pokemon, you know it's going to go for recover, but or it's going to try and set up a spike or anything like that, or a toxic spike or anything like a Marini, and you go for Encore. That way it's forced into that. That way it stays low. Then you can Psychic wear it down. Same thing with like, I'm just trying to think of here, like maybe an Appleton going for recover. You just force it to go for recover, and then just Psychic until you get Spadef drops on it, or anything like that. Or even like, again, in lower tiers, I'm just trying to think of like options where this can actually work, but it's just a weird mon. I feel it's so weird. Like it needed something for it, man. Like they gave it Calm Mind, and they gave it access to like things like stored power too, but they didn't give it any coverage, unfortunately. So Aromatherapy, Encore, Giga Drain, and Psychic, Timid, Max Speed, rest in HP and Defense, allows you to be that fast support Pokemon. Next up, we have a physically defensive Calm Mind CALYREX, and this one can run a Cobra Berry. Cobra Berry is cool because it allows you to take a dark type attack. Obviously, watch out for, the thing is, like, if you're using this in lower tiers, there's like 2 dark types in the lower tier, if I'm not mistaken. There's like Liepard, which is going to U-turn on you and destroy you anyway because it's 4 times effective. And then, well, there's 3. There's Liepard, Morpeko, and Pawniard, if I'm not mistaken. There might be another one that I'm not remembering off the top of my head, but I remember those 3 specifically. But Cobra Berry can help you take knockoff, sucker punches, just random dark coverage. And then you have the physically defensive, so you can actually eat a hit from some of those mons. Like, for example, more people, you'll actually be able to eat an Aura Wheel because of your Cobra Berry. Calm Mind, Giga Drain. Giga Drain, obviously, for the recovery right there. It's really nice, especially because you're not running leftovers. Though, if you don't want to run Cobra Berry, you could run leftovers. The other option is potentially heavy duty boots as well. And then your third move is either Psyshock or Psychic. Psyshock will let you beat opposing Calm Mind Pokemon, whereas Psychic is just initially harder to hitting. And then your last move is, there's a whole bunch of stuff you can put here. You can put Aromatherapy. If you want to use Aromatherapy, you can be a little bit harder to beat because people can't wear you down. You can use Encore to stop opposing setup since this Pokemon doesn't have the best coverage. And like, for example, if I was setting up Calm Minds with this and my opponent had a Klinklang, I'd go for like Gear Grind. Shift Gear with my Klinklang, trying to beat this, so you can Encore to that. The other option is Substitute. Calm Mind can be pretty cool. It can also allow you to avoid status. Baton Pass, if, again, Baton Pass is legal in the tier you're playing. And then, of course, Draining Kiss is pretty cool, too. It gives you coverage versus Dark types. That super effective coverage versus Dark types. But also, same thing like Giga Drain, it's giving you that recovery. So that's really like an option up to you. Draining Kiss ain't bad just because, of course, Cobra Berry will let you eat a hit. But most of the Dark types aren't going to die to that anyway. Next up, we have Specs. Specs is really interesting because, again, that base 80 speed, that base 80 special attack, so that's a decent special attack stat. And that's strong moves like Leaf Storm and Psychic. Leaf Storm is your strongest move that you can go for. The drawback, of course, being that you're dropping your special attack. But hey, man, if you want to try and get some damage off, if you want this Pokemon to do something, you might just, you know, use this to get some damage off on something. Of course, Psychic is your secondary, your Psychic Stab. Next, you have Trick. Trick can be used to cripple, honestly, anything like this Pokemon can't touch, which is a lot of Pokemon. Steel types, for instance, you can use it to cripple Steel types, especially a lot of Steel types don't appreciate a Choice Specs. And then either, again, Baton Pass is allowed in your metagame. You use Baton Pass there. And then that'll give you momentum. It's kind of like using U-turn on a Choice Scarfer to give you momentum. And then you have Pollen Puff, and Pollen Puff is your neutral or your super effective on dark types, depending on the dark type. Like, for example, if it's like Pawniard, it's neutral. But like, obviously, if it's like Liepard, it's super effective. So you have that. The Liepard will die to Leaf Storm as well. But it's cool because it also will give you an option to hit, like if they have like a dark type plus Lurantis, you can hit that. And it's cool for just grasses in general that can otherwise resist your Leaf Storm, and some of them can shrug off Psychic, depending. So Pollen Puff just gives you that option. You know it's rough when a Pokemon has to use Pollen Puff as coverage. And then next up we have Choice Scarf CALYREX. That's the last set. Using it again to cripple the opponent with Trick. But also Encore is pretty cool. Another mon that used to run Choice Scarf plus Encore was actually Politoed back in Black and White, so back in 5th gen. I used to run that, and it'd be just faster than like setup mons, or you bring it in on something like an Adamant Dragonite, you'd be faster. You go for Encore, they have to go for another Dragon Dance if that's what they went for. So it's a pretty cool option for, again, stopping setup and crippling Pokemon as well. And you can trick away your Choice Scarf. And of course, your offensive options are your Dual Stab. So that's all I have for you guys today. Big shout out to my boy EonX for all the help. Of course, when it comes to this, we'll be showing off CALYREX later today, and ideally, this Pokemon puts in some work. But again, thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys next time, and that's it. Goodbye, my friends.